Tonight we have highlights from week 8. We have your week 9 mid-7th inning updates, and we have to come clean on a clerical error. All of this and more in 20 seconds. One, two, three strikes. Sure. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the 7th inning stretch. I hope everybody is having a good Friday night. We had a little bit of a gap since our last broadcast. Last Friday night, we actually had the opportunity to go to a Green Jackets game, so we took advantage of it, and that's why we weren't here last week. If you are out there, please say hello to us tonight. I figure it's probably going to be a light bunch. But there is some information at the end of the show that you heard me talk about, the third topic of the night, about a clerical error that I needed to come clean with. And that was probably the biggest thing to talk about tonight. Hey, Katie, how are you? Hope you're enjoying this Friday night. Friday. I hope everybody did have a good Friday. I had a great Friday. We had a Girl Scout outing today for the girls. I got to go to a dairy farm. And other than the smell when you first got there, it kind of grew on you after a while. It was actually an awesome experience, very eye-opening, kind of humbling to see what goes into all of that just to be able to put milk on your table is pretty freaking awesome. I will tell you, the one that we went to produces 12,000 gallons of milk every 40 hours, which is just so impressive. But that's not why you're here tonight. I just thought that was some pretty cool information that I learned today. So we're going to go and we're going to talk about the week 8 final scores and some of the highlights from that. We're going to go through week 9's mid-7th inning, which is the 7th inning stretch scores, and where we were at before the games got started at 2 o'clock today. There have been some updates since then, and then we'll go over the clerical error that I mentioned. So let's start right at the top for week 8. After 7 long weeks, Red Sox finally get their first win after they stunned the Chicago Cubs. Final score there was 364 to 313. The brother-sister rivalry current belongs to brother me, as the Reds end up beating the Chicago White Sox 294 to 183. Rangers, Katie on with us right now, rolled to their 5th straight win as they beat the Atlanta Braves 262 to 231. Guardians had a little bit of their own dry spell. They had 6 weeks of losses, but they finally got a win. They defeated the LA Angels with a final score of 162 to 141. Last year's champion, the San Francisco Giants, got just enough points on Sunday night to pull off a 3-point shocker over the Yankees. Final score there was 314 to 311. Detroit Tigers roared against the Blue Jays, and they earned the 316 to 220 victory. And then the Cardinals bounced back from their recent struggles and notched a win over the Orioles. Final score there was 294 to 214. So that wraps up week 8. I think when we get ready to do another wrap-up like this, we will probably have graphics. But what we do have is graphics for you of where we're at in mid-7th inning of the 7th inning stretch for week 9. So let's go over those. Top scoring team right now as we were going into the 2 p.m. games is the Texas Rangers. Katie on with us right now. Midway through the 7th, they are up on the Orioles 161 to 111. And currently the team with the largest lead is the Atlanta Braves, who have a 78-point lead over the Boston Red Sox. Boston Red Sox, as you heard already, looking for their second win score right now, 148 to 70. And the smallest lead right now belongs to the Detroit Tigers, just up 5 points over the Chicago Cubs, 156 to 151. Some surprising teams that are in the lead right now. The Chicago White Sox hold a commanding lead over the Blue Jays right now, 146 to 76. And then another surprise team that currently has the lead, that's the Guardians over last year's champ. Cleveland currently up 124 to 66. Number 1 team in the power rankings, New York Yankees, are leading the St. Louis Cardinals, 137 to 127. And last but not least, The Reds currently hold a lead over the Angels, score 128-83. But as I logged in just before I went live, that lead has shrunk a lot. I think the Angels now have like 111 points, so they're only like 17 points behind the Reds. So let's get into this clerical error that I was talking about. So as most of you know, I have started working on a website, a replacement website that should be launched in 2026. We are going to use 2025 to do a lot of the beta testing of this website. But every day I'm always tinkering with it, like we said on Wednesday night's broadcast. And one of the things that I recently did on behalf of the APBL was put all of our scores in from the 2024 season and where we're at up to and through week 8 in 2025. This is for the purposes of tracking our all-time records. I've been doing it in football as well, and I'm up to and through 2009 in football. But for those of you who maybe have not seen the website yet, let me see if I can pull it up for you real quick and kind of show where you need to be going if you want to look at this type of stuff. So here is the website. I'll get my face off the screen. Here's the website right now. Where this all-time record stuff is out there for everybody to be able to see. Eventually, I think we're going to end up hiding it either behind a couple menus or behind a paywall. We're not sure. But as we're testing it, it's right here in the all-time records. The good thing about it for the APBL people is because it lists these in alphabetical order. APBL was before WRL, which are the only two leagues that we've inputted data in so far. You see the APBL start off first, okay? So here are the records for all of last year and then up to week 8 of this year for each one of the teams. Katie, you're out there right now. One of the things to notice, because you decided to revive the Texas Rangers this year after Matt Brown decided to fold the Texas Rangers last year. There is a 2024 Texas Rangers here, which is Matt Brown's team. And of course, you are the 6-2 Rangers here. That's right above that. So I have an input device that I use that was built for me to be able to basically do drop down the league type. In this case, we'll use APBL as our example. Drop down APBL, drop down the year, drop down the week, and I do team 1, score 1, team 2, score 2, and then I do that for the entire week and then hit submit, and it writes to a database. And that's how we're able to get what I was just showing you with those records. And after I got that functional, I started thinking, well, everything that I do for the power rankings for the APBL is based off of those same scores. It gives you a true win-loss record. It adds the points together, and it shows you how many points you've scored so far for the year. And then with that, we should be able to say, well, if this team was the top scoring team of the week and we wanted to give them an all-play record, the top scoring team would be 13-0 for the week, and the bottom scoring team would be 0-13. Now, I've been keeping track of all of that through Excel, but it is painstaking. It takes me a little bit of time to do it. And I thought, if I'm already inputting these scores to keep the all-time records updated, what if I could just get the database and the website to do the power rankings for me? So through a little bit of trial and error, we finally got it. And as I was checking the math for the computer, which is so stupid that you think you have to go back and do it. It's like in the old days when the calculator was first invented, and you do this big long arithmetic thing and you're doing it out by pencil and paper, and then you type it in. Let's check the calculator to make sure it's right. I saw that there was a little bit of a discrepancy in some of the numbers. So I started digging to try to figure out why there is this discrepancy. And let me see if I can show you where it is in the numbers. And like I said, complete transparency on this as I show this to you. So here is the Excel document that I use. And the clerical error came in week 1. It's the only week I need to show you because it was the only week that had a clerical error in it. All the rest of the weeks are fine. But because it was in week 1, it has thrown the power rankings off for the whole year. Now, massively off? No. We're talking like the middle of the pack. Teams basically 6, 7, 8, 4 through 8 is really where the mess uppers are. Or how do I want to say it? I want to say it from what would probably be the 4th place team down to the 8th place team. So if I can zoom in a little bit and show you this, let me see if I can do that and show you where the mess up is. Let's do a zoom. Let's do 200 magnification and see if you can see this a little bit better. Since this is the one that we need to look at right here, I'm going to highlight it. And I'm not sure why it's not highlighting the whole thing. But anyways, let's try that again. Still not doing it. Weird. Anyways, this is sorted right now in order of the final scores from week 1. As you can see, Cincinnati was number 1, 496 and 445, and you can see it all the way down. You can see the number of points that were awarded to them as well. 13, 12, 11. This should have been 10. This should have been 9. This should have been 8. This should have been 7. This should have been 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Where the sort came from that screwed this up, I do not know. I cannot even make an excuse for myself. It was 8 weeks ago, and I don't remember why. Now, every week since then, we have been okay. But again, because that was week 1, it has thrown the power rankings off a little bit. Now, here's the other thing that's thrown the power rankings off, and kind of the reason why I wanted to have the database start doing this for me. When I was doing the all play for everybody, instead of including wins, losses, and ties and getting a true all play percentage, I was only counting wins. That's close to correct if we don't have ties, but we do. And I wasn't including ties in there. And after a little bit, I realized, this is probably going to screw up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull something up. Let me get logged into it as I talk to you so I can show you what this does. Because we do have the ties, I knew that those all play records weren't 100% accurate. Again, power rankings is a novelty thing. It doesn't really do anything for us, but it is fun to look at, especially when, in our case, in the APBL, we play in 2 different leagues, American League and National League, but it was from the same pool of players that we drafted. It's a little bit different when we use the power ranking for the APFL, which was 2 pools of drafted players, and when we go to do the WRL this year, when it's 4 pools of drafted players. So again, a novelty thing, but still pretty cool. The good thing is we've made it through week 8. We're basically a third of the way through the season. We caught it, and everything moving forward now is going to be correct. So let me show you what happens here. I have created this extensive set of administrative pages for myself to run the new website. When I go to reports and I click on power rankings now, this calculates only APBL power rankings for the moment. And I go in here and I click generate current power rankings. I automatically get the power rankings that we're supposed to have, to include logos and everything like that. What you're going to see here is the win-loss percentage with the win-loss points, the total points we've scored for the season with the total points here, 14 through 1, like it's supposed to. And then the all-play record with the points that are out here. The best part about this is so we can check ourselves. I click on the show details button here, right? It comes down here, and it gives me a week by week of what that all-play record would be based on their score for the week. And then I can come down here, and because we can do the 14 through 1 over here, it breaks this down in each one of those columns for me. So up here, we're only getting a number and a set of points. This one, we're getting more detail and the number of points that are assigned. So as you all know, we had 3 teams that were tied last week by record. They all share the 14, 13, and 12 points. And when you average that, you get 13 for each one of those teams. Same things happens here with LA and Baltimore and Yankees, I'm sorry, at 5 and 3 at 10 points. And you have 3 more here at 4 and 4 that share the 7 points. When I first put this together, that was not accurate. I had to go back to the database and fix that. It is now accurate. Points from first to worst and you've got 14 down to 1. And then here is where you see the real quote-unquote magic for the all-play record. And this is where the discrepancy changes our numbers from what we posted last time on the website. So you're getting the record each week across here. You're getting the all-play percentage down here on the end, which equals the all-play percentage that you see here. And it also gives you the cumulative record here that will be these green numbers that are all the way across. And that it is ranked from first to worst, 14 down to 1. Now, each one of those points for the win-loss points, total points, and the all-play points are then added together. And then this number is divided by 42. Why 42? Because the most amount of points that you can get if you were leading all three categories is 42. 14 plus 14 plus 14. 14 times 3 gives you 42. That gives you a BCS type number. That way, if you are, in fact, the person that is leading all three categories, your power ranking will be 1.00, which means you have a perfect power ranking. So if we look at this compared to the story that came out last week and where we were at with power rankings, and let me see if I can pull that up real quick just to kind of give us a comparison of where we were at. The Yankees were number 1. And they are number 1 with the same power ranking. Reason nothing really changed with the Yankees is because they don't have any ties. But the teams that ended up having ties in their all-play record, in the number 2 spot, we had a 3-way tie between Cincinnati, Atlanta, and Texas, according to my graphic last week. As you can see, that is not the case. Because of those ties, Cincinnati actually has number 2, Texas has number 3, and Atlanta has number 4. And then you can see the rest of the numbers that go down there. So what will happen now is I will be using this chart. I no longer have to hand jam anything in there other than putting the scores that are already going into the system anyways for the all-time records. I will generate this report. I will look at it and use it to make our graphic that will go up there. And now we know that we are 100% accurate. The first week that got screwed up, the clerical error on my part is not affecting this. And now we have a true all-play record with wins, losses, and ties by it doing this as well. So I wanted to be completely transparent and get that out there so everybody knew if they saw a crazy jump without me saying that they didn't get a big question mark and be like, how did that happen? Well, now you'll know how that happened, but we will have this. If anybody ever wants to see this, because this is only on the admin page, I'll screenshot it and send it out to anybody. All you got to do is ask for it. But just wait for the graphic and the story that comes out on Mondays. It will have the accurate information on it now. So hopefully that makes sense to you all. If you have any questions about it, hit me up on Discord. So for our next broadcast, we will be back again next Friday. Hey, Sean, what's up? Sean just learning that Ohtani counts as a batter and a pitcher, 2 different positions in Yahoo. And I'm glad that you know that now in case we are using Yahoo again next year. So we will be back next week right away. Since we did happen to take last Friday off, I wanted to make sure that we got back to you guys this Friday. Our next Green Jackets game is for a weekend game is on Saturday, so we won't miss a Friday broadcast. But then the week after that, I will be on a family vacation. So we will probably not have a broadcast. Let me see if I can pull the calendar up. Let me see here. I don't think it's going to come up. Let me just pull my phone up instead. I thought I had wrote down all the right dates, but as I'm looking at them on my own screen, something doesn't seem right with me now. So we will be back next Friday. So I want to give our WRL leagues a little bit more time to work on naming the regions. That helps me with something else that I now have the admin pages working with as well. For those of you that play in the WRL, I put the message out there to you yesterday on what that is. So what I'm going to do instead is kind of push through this weekend and next week to try to get that portion to happen. Then we will have the next 7th inning stretch on the 6th of June. And because we'll be on vacation, the following week, we will not have a Fanatically Real broadcast on the 11th. So there's going to be a 2-week gap. We will be back on the 18th of June. 18th of June. We should have all of the regions named at that point. I will be able to have all of the matrices done for the schedule for the WRL. We will be able to roll at the wheel or spin the wheel at that time to figure out which week is going to be our double header. And then we will use the subsequent days after that to start getting all of that stuff put on MFL. Man, I'm telling you what, when we come back down from Ohio in July and I'm bringing you your shirt, I hope you're grilling steaks on that day as well. So that's what the broadcast schedule is going to be like. No Fanatic Real broadcast for a couple of weeks. We will keep you up to date on Discord and what that looks like. We will be back for the 7th inning stretch next Friday, though. And that is it. If you have any questions about anything that we discussed tonight, week 8, week 9, the power rankings, please hit us up on Discord. And thank you for watching the 7th inning stretch sponsored by Sport Management Solutions. If you liked tonight's show, make sure you go out, like, share, subscribe. Turn the little alarm on here on YouTube so you get the alert whenever we're going to be back on next time. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Hit me up on Discord, and we will see you all next week.